and he brings them into the promised land, and every time they start following other gods and doing wrong stuff, and God has to send punishment to bring them on the right path again. How much time do we have left? 50 minutes? Okay, so what they did was, what God would send them judges. Is everybody listening, or are we losing it? You are listening? So God would send them judges, to judge them, and every time they would become okay and they would tell God, God, we are sorry, and God would forgive them and everything would start going good, and when everything started going good, again they would fall into sin. Right? And then there's this group of people called the Philistines, and the Philistines came into the Philistines, not Philippines. The Philistines. This is from the word Palestine. So you know where the Palestinians are today? The same problem going on. They came from Greece, okay, from that area of the world. They were actually from that part of the world. And they came down and they settled over there, and the Palestinians started creating all kinds of problems for the Jews. So God raised up a prophet. You know who that the judge was?
No.
His name was Samson. Samson. And you know what Samson was famous for?
The phone.
Is for what?
The phone.
He was famous for, not Samsung. I'm talking about Samson. He was famous for being the strongest, one of the strongest men on earth. Right?
What?
He was.
Don't you serve the world?
So what happens is that Samson would go around the countryside. Samson would go around the countryside and he would start killing all the Philistines. And the Philistines hated him so much, but they didn't know where Samson's power and strength came from. It was his hair. God had told Samson's mother never to let a scissors or a knife or anything to cut his hair.
Oh, just like Rapunzel?
Kind of like Rapunzel, but that's where Rapunzel got the story, because Samson came first. Okay?
She has long hair.
So Samson has got long hair, and then Samson had a weakness. He loved women. And so he fell in love with this Philistine woman whose name was Delilah. Her name was Delilah.
Delilah.
And the Palestinians came to her, the Philistines came to Delilah and told her that we'll give you so much money if you tell us, if you find out from Samson where his strength lies. And so she started pestering Samson every day and pestering him and pestering him. She made his life such a misery that one day Samson just got fed up and he told her that my strength is in my hair. And so Samson went to sleep, and while he was asleep, she cut all his hair off. Okay? So when she cut all his hair off, she yelled out to the guards that were outside the door in hiding, waiting, and she yelled, "The Philistines are here!" And the Philistines all came pouring into the camp, and Samson jumped up, and Samson thought that he's going to knock them all off like he used to knock them off before, but his hair was gone and his power was gone. And he was powerless, and they caught him and they tied him up, and then what did they do?
They killed him.
They poked out his eyes.
Oh.
So now Samson is a prisoner, no strength, and he's blind. See? So now he's blind, right? So you know what the Philistines do to him? They take him to the city, and you know they used to have the thing called, what do we call it in English? It was like a mill. It's a big, two stones, one goes this way and one goes this way,
I
right?
want us to go to heaven.
And the stone is lying on the ground, and then you would throw corn or barley or wheat in there, right? And then the round stone would go round and round, and it used to be pulled by a bull, and the bull would go around and around in a circle, right? But what they did, they took the bull out and they put Samson over there. So now Samson is walking around and around, and he's pulling that big stone. And that's all he did for so many years, because he's blind.
Years.
Right? He's a prisoner now. But guess what? You know, when Samson had eyes, and God gave him all his strength, and he had eyes, Samson couldn't see God. He didn't see God. Again, we are talking about the light bulb in your head, not this light. Right? But when Samson got blind, and he couldn't see, then he saw God. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now Samson walking around, pulling that stone, and he realizes what God had done for him, and he didn't appreciate it. Now he starts asking God for forgiveness and praying to God and telling God he's sorry. And so God says, okay, the Philistines didn't realize it, but while Samson was going around and around that mill for years, his hair started growing. And while his hair started growing back, Samson's strength started coming back. And so one day, the Philistines were going to throw a big party and they wanted to make fun of the Jews and of Samson. So they said, bring him over here, let's make fun of him. So they brought him and he's a blind man and he can walk and he's there trying to find his way, and they were just making jokes on him and poking him and laughing at him and saying, look, this guy was supposed to be the strong man of the Jews and look at him now. And they were all having a good time, right? And Samson called a young boy there close to him and he said, you know, this is a temple, right? They were sitting in the temple, which was also a stadium. And they had like thousands and thousands of people all around, sitting in the stands and cheering and making fun of Samson. And Samson asked this kid, he said, you know the two pillars that hold the temple up? Just take me over there and let me hold the pillars. So the kid led him over there and Samson held onto the two pillars that the whole stadium was sitting and resting on two pillars. And Samson, he told God, he said, you know, because of what they did to me and my eyes, I want revenge. So can you give me enough strength so I can kill all of them at one shot? And he pulled the pillars down, and when the pillars came, the whole temple fell down. And all the people sitting in the temple, all of them died because the stones fell on top of them. And Samson, he killed more people in his death than he killed in all his life. Right? But look, what was Samson's motivation to kill the people? What did Samson say to God when he was about to die? He said, for revenge. He said, Father, because they did this to me, and what they did to my eyes, I want to kill them.
Wow.
Now, think about what Jesus said when Jesus was on the cross. You see, that's why Samson couldn't save us.
He never said.
Because Samson was doing it for selfishness, for his own self. But when Jesus was on the cross, what did Jesus say? Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
What?
Yeah, because Samson only lost his eye, Jesus lost his life. But Jesus could have asked God to punish all of us, right? Even more for killing him on the cross. But Jesus said, no, Father, forgive them. You see, this is the reason why. When you go through the Old Testament and we are reading about all these prophets and priests and kings, as good and wonderful as they are, the reason why God brought them, and He brought them to show us that none of them could be the Savior that we needed. How much time? 5 minutes? Anyone want to ask any questions?
Yeah.
So please go buy the book, the Action Bible. It's really, really good. It's only $15 and some cents
Plus tax.
plus tax, but it'll be the best investment that your parents will make. So go buy it and start reading the Bible. Okay? You make with a prayer?
Okay, guys, do the prayers. Let's stand.
Everybody stand, please.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Amen. Full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Now let's say prayer for the things that we have to receive. Bless us, O Lord, in these gifts
Which we are
which are
about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. And let's pray for everybody's safety this Halloween too.
Yeah, pray for safety
Of the kids.
Hallelujah.